Sadie Nights.
Good morning. My name is Ike Engelbaum. I'm the host of The Bright Side of Aging and the Entrepreneurs Network radio show. Due to popular demand, today we bring back Bob Allison's Ask Your Neighbor radio broadcast. Bob passed away last March, and due to the current COVID crisis, his broadcast left the air after nearly 60 years of solving household problems for the neighbors. But today, we'll devote a portion of this broadcast to helping you, the neighbors. It could be looking for a particular recipe, where to buy it, how to do it, advice of travel or personal matters, and more. I've invited Bob's son, Rob, to join us for his thoughts and input. Rob has been a critical part of Ask Your Neighbor for some 25 years. The Ask Your Neighbor website, askyourneighbor.com, still offers a number of Bob Allison's popular cookbooks and hundreds of recipes as well. Do you have a common household problem that you'd like solved? Well, while we're on the air, why don't you call our call-in number 248-557-3300 and ask your neighbor. That's 248-557-3300 for the next hour. Wow. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Do you like snacks? Well, why don't you try the Ike Bakery folks that have now created 3 new flavors of gluten-free granolas: maple vanilla, blueberry, and toffee chocolate, all sold in 16-ounce bags for just $4.99. All new is Ori's cinnamon pull-apart, made with Danish dough and rich cinnamon filling. It's great with coffee or milk and hard to stop eating. You will find all these items at the Ike Bakery Market on Farmington Road between I-96 and Plymouth Road in Livonia. Try it out. As Jackie Gleason used to say, how sweet it is. For over 30 years, Cruz Hearing and Service has helped thousands of neighbors improve their hearing and enjoy the sounds of their life again. In fact, I am a client. If you don't hear as well as you'd like, Cruz Hearing can help you. They have an excellent selection of hearing units to fit just about any need and budget with financing available. Trust me, I can attest to that personally. They have 3 convenient locations to serve you: Farmington Hills, Taylor, and their newest in Waterford on M59, west of the airport. Phone Cruz Hearing Aid Service toll-free for a free hearing evaluation. Their phone number is 877-456-CRUZ, C-R-U-Z, or visit them on their web at cruzhearing.com. That number again is 877-456-2789. Financing is available. And Bob Allison, who is no longer around, was one of the clients, and Bob Allison's cookbooks are available. If you call Cruz Hearing, ask for the free cookbook and get a free hearing evaluation at the same time. For that, call 888-489-8980. Call 1-888-489-8980. Even if you don't get the hearing aids, you'll still get a free hearing test as well as a free Bob Allison cookbook. 1-888-489-8980. And I'm so glad you're around to join us today, and hopefully you can at least enjoy the sun outside because we're so restricted in getting out, and I wear a mask and try to live life as it comes along. And one of the wonderful things about radio is that we're connected all over the world, and especially at this time of the year where you've got so much debate going on in different aspects. Why not make a special effort? Go down the phone book that you have, call and just say hello. And Ori Bakery, one of our sponsors, can send out a sweet little gift just to stay in touch. We can do a lot of things that we are not necessarily restricted to just suddenly making prisoners of ourselves. The reality, though, is life goes on, and as you grow in age, you don't get around as well as you do. And I'm really excited about having one of the counselors from AA1D, George Wodackey. And I hope I didn't ruin your last name, George, did I?
That's okay. That's okay. It's actually Wodackey.
Wodackey. Okay, all right. Well, that's sort of close. You're a counselor with the title Michigan Medicare Medicaid Assistance Program. So
that's correct. Actually, I'm a volunteer counselor. I don't get paid for doing this.
I see. Well, I'll tell you something. You should be commended for it. I belong to the Rotary Club and Optimist Club, and again, those organizations don't pay you, but the gift that you have of helping people is unbelievable. And what is your background, George? Were you always related to the healthcare field, or?
Yes, I was. For 35 years, I was a member of the pharmaceutical sales industry, and retired about 8 years ago. Mm-hmm. And subsequently, at that given point in time, my own doctor suggested that I become a counselor with the Medicare Medicaid Assistance Program. Wow. And I listened, took his advice, and still doing it to this day.
Well, good for you. As a pharmacist, I have a pretty good idea what you did. In fact, at one time I was a regional manager for Alcon Labs in my early days in pharmacy. So you're in the milieu. I learned that word yesterday. I thought it impressed you. So tell me, first of all, right in the heart of the Medicare open enrollment, correct?
Yes, we are. That Medicare open enrollment started October 15th, and it runs through December 7th. And this gives everybody who is on Medicare an opportunity to review their prescription drug plan as well as their supplemental plan, primarily their Medicare Advantage plan. We can help them with looking at their supplemental Medigap policies, which is offered by various different insurance companies. But for the most part, we concentrate on the prescription drug benefit plans as well as the Advantage plans. And in addition to this open enrollment between October 15th and December 7th, there is an additional open enrollment for Advantage plan members that go from January 1st of 2021 to March 31st of 2021. And what this affords Medicare individuals is if they sign up for a plan during open enrollment, then generally January or February, they'll get an idea as to what the plan offers them or if they like the plan. And if they don't like it, then they have an opportunity during that Advantage plan, open enrollment plan, period, that they can change their plan to whatever plan that they feel comfortable with.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I've heard how important it is that just because you are in the program now and it seems okay, it definitely pays for you to have it reviewed, because changes are generally made in one part of it or another. Is that correct?
That is correct. One of the things that I have noticed throughout the years is the fact that people stay stagnant with a particular prescription drug plan, and they're so used to just paying that plan on a monthly basis. They don't want to take the time to see if there's another plan that's going to provide them the same benefits at a lower premium cost, or perhaps better benefits with a lower premium cost. And it's the wise individual that takes the time to contact us to check their plans over during open enrollment.
And it's free, right, for them to call you.
Totally free.
That's the favorite four-letter word starting with F that most seniors like. Hope to hear. The point is that I like to give out my toll-free number so I can stay in touch with the listeners, and I'll be more than glad to pass on our toll-free number for information and to contact Wodackey, go ahead. Wodackey, is it?
Wodackey.
Wodackey. Okay. All right. And your direct number to Area Agency on Aging I have is 1-800-803-7174. Is that correct?
That is correct, sir.
All right. Okay. And as far as the preventative services, apparently I understand you have a booklet for 2021. Is that correct?
Well, everybody who's on Medicare receives a copy of Medicare and You, and that's sent by the U.S. government to all Medicare recipients. And in that book is a complete listing of the preventative services that are free to all Medicare patients. And I strongly suggest that everybody take a look at those in the book and utilize those services towards better health.
Absolutely. And the nice thing about it is that you are available throughout the week, and you can set up a phone consultation as well. Is that correct?
That is correct as well. Because of the COVID-19 pandemic that we're experiencing, we are doing all of our counseling via phone or Zoom, but usually we'd like to go face to face with people, and hopefully at some point in time in the future we'll be able to return to that. Yes, we'll be able to get back to doing that.
Mm-hmm. Now, I've heard about these scam deals. As I understand it, that you can assist people by way of the Senior Medicare Patrol. Is that correct?
That is true. The Senior Medical Patrol helps individuals get a better understanding for what they might be being scammed about or with. And if they have been, we are available to assist them in filing a report with the Inspector General in an effort to stop these individuals who are scamming. One of the biggest scams has to do with individuals answering the phone and people asking them for their Medicare number or their Social Security number. And in either case, it's a matter of, we strongly recommend that people just hang up the phone whenever they hear that request, because nobody from Social Security, nobody from Medicare will ever ask for anybody's number over the phone. If there's a contact that's needed by those services, they will do so via letter. And for the benefit of your listeners who've had that situation happen and they'd like to report it, the Inspector General's number is 1-800-447-8477.
Would you repeat that again, please?
Of course, it's 1-800-447-8477.
That's what frustrates me, quite frankly, is that so many people that get involved in one of these scam deals are embarrassed to share it with anyone and is not aware that help is available. In fact, these organizations are in hopes that you call them so they can prove their value to you. So by all means, stay in touch. Before I let you go, we understand that you have something special for diabetic patients that are on insulin. Is that correct?
That is true. The pharmaceutical companies, in particular, Sanofi and Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk, the three main companies that sell injector pens for insulin, in conjunction with the federal government, they've put a limit of a copay of $35 per month for the insulin injector pens, and this starts January 1st. So in other words, some people may be paying considerably more for their copays for their insulin injector pens, but they will only pay a $35 per month copay starting in January.
That's fantastic. And again, the toll-free number is 800-803-7174, or as I like to give out our toll-free number, 1-888-489-80. And so that I don't mutilate your last name again, how about if I say George? Have a great day, and thanks for calling in.
Thank you, Ike.
I was going to say,
bless.
God bless you as well. Let George do it. Right now, we'll take a brief break, and we will be back with a dynamic attorney. And I am sure you're going to get information that is going to get you excited. So get ready to get excited. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Okay.
In 1932, John B. Frentz moved to Royal Oak and opened Frentz Hardware. In addition to the personal service, the family offered the community a store that provided those needed everyday hardware items. Plus, they specialize in unusual and hard-to-find products. Right now, you'll find all the gardening hardware, fertilizer, seeds, weed killers, and more for your landscape. Frentz Hardware is still family-run at the corner of Main Street and 11.5 Mile Road in Royal Oak. And according to Popular Mechanics magazine, is one of the top 12 hardware stores in the United States. If you can't find it anywhere, you'll find it at Frentz. They're open every day. Call 248-544-8111. And when you call, Bob Allison's cookbooks are available for free. A limited supply is available. And if you would like some information on Bob Allison's cookbooks, by all means, call our toll-free number, 888-489-8980. But for hardware needs, call them directly. 248-544-8111. With all those numbers, I assume you'll be able to get a lottery ticket for free. Or at least $1 million. Hope that you check out Frentz Hardware in Royal Oak. Thank you. And welcome back. And I'm really excited about having an attorney that works, believe it or not, on a volunteer type basis. She is with the Neighborhood Legal Services Elder Law and Advocacy Center. Kimberly Parks is an attorney, and the organization is a non-profit organization operating in Wayne County. Hello, Kimberly. Thanks for
Well, hello.
With a nice name like Parks, it's rather, I feel like I have to go out to park to enjoy nature while I can. And today is a great day to do that. And I've heard quite a bit about the neighborhood legal services, and it is actually a free service for seniors in Wayne County. Is that correct?
That is correct. It's for any seniors or adults who are 60 years of age and older. Some of them don't like letting themselves be called seniors who live in Wayne County.
Well, I always correct people. I say, you're not a senior, you're seasoned. It sounds a little better ring to it. Mm-hmm. And if anyone that wants to get more information or be in touch, of course, we have our toll-free number, 888-489-8980. But you have a direct number right to the organization itself. Is that correct?
It is. That number is 313-937-8291.
Mm-hmm. And repeat again.
That's 313-937-8291 for anyone that didn't get their pen and paper fast enough.
And that's why I like to repeat it. And I just wondered this to current situation. What are the most frequent ones that come up that you deal with?
So, unfortunately, especially with the current situation, elder abuse is probably one of our most frequent complaints. Number of older adults in our community are especially vulnerable to being taken advantage of already due to either health conditions, isolation, et cetera, and due to the current issues, they are even more isolated. So it's been especially true over the last year. People can be taken advantage of by scams, they can be neglected, financial abuse, because they're not able to get out and handle their own affairs.
Now,
so when someone, go ahead.
I was just going to say, is there something proactively that you can assist aside from just commensurating with them? I just wondered, they call and what happens?
So one of the things that we always recommend that people do, because I believe you mentioned on your previous, or just before I came on, that a lot of people are too embarrassed or to report anything. So we often count on family members, friends, neighbors to report abuse, to put a stop to it, in which case we recommend that they call Adult Protective Services. And that number is 1-855-444-3911. Again, it's 1-855-444-3911. Mm-hmm. Something that we can do ahead of time to try to prevent that kind of abuse is actually get what we call estate planning or life planning in place, so the individual can already have chosen who they would trust in their lives to handle financial or healthcare matters for them when they can't do that for themselves. And then after the abuse, there are occasionally things that we can do on the civil side to protect against future harm or undo some of the harm that's been done. If it's transfer of title and things like that, sometimes there are steps that we can take to undo those issues.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, tell me about the estate planning procedure. Someone hears that it's wise to be prepared. They call into your office, and then I assume now especially you can get the information done by phone. Is that correct? Or how do you work it?
So right now what happens, if you call into our office, you'll still be referred to what we call our First Tuesday program. That used to happen in person at our office in Redford. Now That's happening over Zoom. So if you have internet connection and you're able to connect via your smartphone or your laptop, tablet, you'll get registered to attend that by Zoom. Otherwise, we'll have you actually call in. Even if you don't have that internet connection, you can still call in.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll listen to the presentation on the estate planning documents that our office will prepare. And from there on, most of it you can create a one-on-one attorney-client relationship with one of our legal staff, and we'll get those documents drafted for you.
Mm-hmm.
The workshop is actually still being done right now by someone that you're familiar with, Katie Graham, who's a veteran of these issues. She's been working in this field for quite a while. She had retired, and we brought her back for this special circumstance.
I know she's a dynamo, and I really am impressed that she hasn't slowed down. As I understand it, the first Tuesday of each month at 2:00.
Yes, it is.
Seniors can check in, and I would suggest that most seniors or seasoned citizens have fellow seasoned citizens that they share getting on, and the number that I have to register is 313-937-8291. Again, that's 313-937-8291 for Wayne County. And you can actually hear other people's issues, I would imagine, and that's at 2:00 every first Tuesday of each month. So then you have the workshops as well. Is that correct? Can you discuss some of those?
So the workshops have slowed down due to the COVID pandemic, but we are still trying to, and we still hold workshops generally for particular communities. For instance, if someone listening is the service manager for a senior center or a community center or an adult apartment complex, we can set up workshops with those locations as well. Those also would be via Zoom. And you would call that same number to start the process to actually get those set up. You get a lot of the same information, but you're able to ask your own personal questions as well.
And these are all free services, and I can't urge anyone listening strongly enough just to hear other human voices on the phone is an inspiration on a daily basis. And these programs, these informational programs are available at no charge. So by all means, take advantage of it. And Kimberly, if someone wants to talk to you again, what number is the best for your contact?
So for my contact, the way it works with our organization is you first call our main office. Mm-hmm. That's the 313-937-8291. Mm-hmm. And then you'll actually get assigned to one of the legal staff that's best able to work with your issue. So my personal expertise is things like Medicaid and caregiver issues, because we do also work with people who are caregivers for older adults.
Right.
So you get referred to me particularly then.
Ah. Well, listen, I'm so glad to know that there are resources available, and especially in our current situation, as I like to say, we need all the help we can get. God bless you, and I'm so glad that you called in, and I'm sure that you'll be back for an encore appearance soon.
I hope so.
Very good. Look forward to talking to you. Right now, we're going to take a brief break, and we'll be right back.
What business are you in? What do you sell? Has COVID changed how you acquire business? We now live in what marketing experts call the attention economy. Old school marketing tactics aren't working. Getting your business noticed in a world where eyes and ears are tuned to speakers and screens 16 hours a day requires a planned approach to get attention. If you care about your business tomorrow, you gotta change how you're marketing today. You may not be able to outspend the competition, but with the right help, you can outthink them. Located conveniently in Troy, Michigan, Grow Studios can help you shorten the sales cycle and deepen your relationships with your clients. We do this by helping you develop video and audio content that helps your target audience develop a trust for you and your product or services. Grow Studios is a friend of the Entrepreneurs Network of Michigan. Ask Ike about growstudiosclub.com.
And guess what? Dan's right on the line, so you can ask Dan. Hello, Dan.
Hey, Ike, how are you?
Wonderful. I'm glad you called in, and we just have a few minutes to talk. You can actually do a visual description of your studio. I was really impressed. You've got a regular full-blown studio that any entrepreneur that wants to promote themselves as well as the services can be done right in Troy. Is that correct, Dan?
Yep, right in Troy.
And as far as your setup is concerned, if people have got a product that they want to promote, you can actually put together a professional production on that. Can you tell us what the procedure is there?
Sure, yeah. So, I've been doing video marketing for 15 years, which is pretty much since YouTube came out. I've seen how it's impacted me with my business and in a number of ways, always positive. I've never had a problem. Video is just an amazing way to connect with people. It's become super relevant since March 2020 here in the United States because something happened and our world's changed real quickly. It just accelerated the need for video even more. As you've said before, when you see somebody face to face, it makes a world of difference. Well, the closest we're getting right now a lot of times is video. And it just makes it feel good. Like, last time you and I were on video, Ike, it was a Zoom call with your network, Entrepreneurs Network in Michigan. And it was just fun and nice to you were out on your balcony. It was a beautiful day here in Michigan in the fall. And it just felt nice to be able to connect like that. And that's how you develop know, like, and trust. Know, like, and trust, as you and I have discussed before, are the number one biggest obstacle any of us have when we want to sell something. People got to know who you are so they can like you. They got to like you. And then that moves us into trust. You got to have all three of those things. Know, like, and trust. And like you said, I'm conveniently located. I'm just a little bit west of the Somerset Mall, a couple of buildings right next to the Kmart Corporation on 16 Mile Road. And I just was talking to a financial planner. I have an insurance guy. I got a guy that sells automotive switches. These salespeople need to get in front of the camera and show what it is they're selling. And it's really important that we all consider that it's not a commercial. It's about being a servant and informing and feeding their audience with good information they can use. And that's how we develop that rapport with people.
Well, what I admire about you, Dan, is the fact that you've been involved in quite a few different ventures, and you learned from the experience there, and you were successful at it, and now you're sharing your knowledge on how people can best present themselves. And it's one thing to think, hey, I can take out my cell phone and do a selfie and then send it out. And guess what? When you send it out, it looks like a selfie that you took out. You need the professional type of individual who can guide you through. And you and I have talked off the air. You actually help people that have difficulty in presenting themselves in their best fashion. Is that correct?
Yeah, the reality is I don't think our egos are never more on stage, if you will, or exposed than when we're in front of the video camera, right? So, we're live, all our insecurities come out, and a good interviewer or somebody to help pull you along or lead you can really make a world of difference. And I know that, and that's just something that it's a gift of mine. I'm comfortable with it. I don't have any problem being up on the stage or in front of the camera. Never have been. I enjoy it. And because of that, I can take people that maybe would have an okay presentation and make it a good presentation. I can take somebody that has a good presentation on camera and make it great by just interviewing them. So to me, it's not just that I've got the cameras, the lights, and the computer stuff here. It's that I also have the skill set to make them look good on camera. I just did that recently here in Clawson for that Clawson Makers Market and interviewed 8 different creators and makers, people, artists and whatnot, and helped them get their word out about who they are and what they do. I think we're over 2,500 views just on those few videos that we shot last Saturday morning. So video does work. Right now, Facebook is favoring it. Instagram is favoring it. Google is favoring it. All the major search places and properties are favoring video. In 10 years from now, everybody will know this. It won't be a big deal. Video will be much more rampant. It'll be everywhere. It'll be a known. Right now, it's still something that can get you a lot of return for your time on your investment.
And if anyone wants to get a hold of you, what phone number would you like to give out, Dan?
248. So I'm a Roy Loke and now Troy guy here with my office, but 248-541-0250, 248-541-0250. Again, my name is Dan. If you tell them, say Ike sent you, I can help you out. Usually got a little something special for Ike's people, so I appreciate it, Ike.
Well, Dan, you're a special person yourself, and I always joke with you, Dan Nichols' last name may just be Nickel, but he can help you make $1 million. Dan, it's been a delight talking to you. Right now, we got to take a brief break, and we will talk again soon, hopefully after the show.
Thanks, Ike. Bye.
Bye-bye. We'll be right back. Do you like snacks? Well, why don't you try the Oury Bakery folks that have now created 3 new flavors of gluten-free granolas: maple vanilla, blueberry, and toffee chocolate, all sold in 16-ounce bags for just $4.99. All new is Oury's cinnamon pull-apart, made with Danish dough and rich cinnamon filling. It's great with coffee or milk and hard to stop eating. You will find all these items at the Oury Bakery Market on Farmington Road between I-96 and Plymouth Road in Livonia. Try it out. As Jackie Gleason used to say, how sweet it is. And speaking of sweet, I'm so excited about having an entrepreneur's entrepreneur type on, Todd Davis. Todd, that's a showbiz name. Is that a made-up name, or is that really your name, Todd Davis?
It's really my stage name.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I always thought it was going to be in the big lights, and it ended up being an entrepreneur.
Well, I'm so glad I had the joy of meeting with you in your office, and it was a delightful visit, and I was really impressed with what you've accomplished. And the key in entrepreneurship, as you well know, is get involved in a product or a service that is definitely needed, and as a huge market, as our current president says. And the point is you got involved with CBD Unlimited, and the name itself says a lot. So, Todd, what is your background, and how did you get involved with CBD?
It's kind of a long story, but I got the short version. I was an investment banker in Chicago in the 90s during the biotech boom. Mm-hmm. And there was so much hope. There was so much opportunity out there to take natural molecules and turn them into medicine and technology delivery systems that could change medicine forever. And most of it was failure. It was a lot of hypothesis, and we didn't see what we thought we could, but a lot of the technology today is those root foundations. When I was evaluating the cannabis industry, we were looking at the compliance and the chains of custody and the tracking systems that could be layered into the cannabis space that was going legal at the time. And the one thing that I did notice of all things is there were specific parts of the plant that kept emerging as potential solutions. And then science started to be released into the market. and CBD, this cannabidiol component of marijuana, of cannabis, of hemp, seemed to be the one constituent of the plant that had the greatest value, that was the least known to the market. So looking at that in 2013 and 14, we made an effective decision to do some clinical testing to see how much does a person need to take to get average or get a therapeutic value from it. So I recruited doctors, and we were doing patient test groups of 20 patients that had typically diabetic neuropathy. So they had a nerve pain condition, and if they were in that condition, they generally had multiple other symptoms and conditions that were inflammation-based or pain-based. And what we learned through oil delivery systems and vaping systems and capsule systems and skin systems is we figured out dosing first. And we found that if we would dose at a certain level per the delivery system, that 20 patient group all experienced something beneficial. And that's where we stopped the dosing. Then we built the products on top. How do you make it a better product? What do you need to add to it? What does it play well with? How does CBD work in the system? Where do we deliver it to? And then how often? So that was how we came into CBD, and we became specialists. We became the one company out there that was really talking about the science, the compliance, the quality control issues that were not existent in the cannabis market. How do we bring this mainstream and derive it from hemp? So that's really how we got here, and that started in earnest in 2014, and now we're one of the leading companies in the United States, and we're growing very rapidly. It's still a small industry that has so much potential.
Yeah, right. In fact, you've got a full array now of various forms of CBD. Is that correct? Do you want to describe some of them?
Yeah, so the one that's most commonly sold in the market today are topicals. And topical just means you put it on your skin to achieve a value. So our topicals are called Maggie's Balm. It's called Balm X at Walgreens. We have spray-ons, we have balms, we have roll-ons, we have creams and butters and things that you put on your skin to either moisten your skin, but mostly it's to bring down inflammation and pain as an application towards the skin. What we started with was oils and capsules. So we have sleep capsules and all-purpose capsules that don't deliver in your stomach, but bypass the stomach and release into your system through the small intestine. We call that delayed release. Oil tinctures are still the foundation of CBD. It goes into your mouth as a plant-based fat, gets absorbed into your mucous membrane and your epithelial cells, and gets into your bloodstream very efficiently at that level. That's a really good place to start for most people. And then we have the whole pet division. At the same time we started with the humans, we were doing pets as well. Some of the science that we were leaning on had to do with pets and metabolism and how and frequency and how much did you take before it became unsafe. So through dogs and cat observation with vets and animal clinics and rescue centers, we were able to define the dosing there as well, and really expanded our expertise into that space too. And shortly, we just finished our horse trials. The horse products will be hitting the market in 2021.
Well, that's the sign of an entrepreneur, as you expand into as many markets as is possible. And anyone that's interested in more information is welcome to call our toll-free number 888-489-8980. And for the sake of disclosure, I admire our sponsorship with CBD Unlimited, and I actually am excited about it because being a pharmacist, I know the importance of limiting access to getting yourself involved with a lot of prescription drugs that may, it may be helpful in the short run, but overall it affects parts of your body that you didn't want affected. So CBD is definitely here to stay and to grow. And anyone that's interested, you have our toll-free number, 888-489-8980. And We have this actually outlets in Michigan that you can go to, but you can also order direct, and it's also available on the website. Is that correct, Todd?
Correct. Most of our clients are wholesalers, but we have an e-commerce platform at cbdunlimited.com, and that's where you can get your education, explore the different product offerings, and learn about what the company has. And if you do need to call somebody and ask those the questions that you really want to know, we have an available staff on hand that's quite talented and can answer your questions.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've heard wonderful things about it, and in fact, we've got podiatrists and different chiropractors and medical doctors as well endorsing it, and you're very wise in putting the products out after you did your due diligence, as they say. That is great. I'd like to talk to you a little bit more about the application of CBD for actually pets, because interestingly enough, as you've heard in the news, because of the current restrictions, people are buying pets more so than ever before for companionship. And likewise, they develop aches and pains in different conditions. And we're going to be talking about that right after our brief break with Mr. Todd Davis. So don't go away. For over 30 years, Cruz Hearing and Service has helped thousands of neighbors improve their hearing and enjoy the sounds of their life again. In fact, I am a client. If you don't hear as well as you'd like, Cruz Hearing can help you. They have an excellent selection of hearing units to fit just about any need and budget with financing available. Trust me, I can attest to that personally. They have 3 convenient locations to serve you: Farmington Hills, Taylor, and their newest in Waterford on M59, west of the airport. Phone Cruz Hearing Aid Service toll-free for a free hearing evaluation. Their phone number is 877-456-CRUZ, C-R-U-Z, or visit them on their web at cruzhearing.com. That number again is 877-456-2789. Financing is available. And Bob Allison, who is no longer around, was one of the clients, and Bob Allison's cookbooks are available. If you call Cruz Hearing, ask for the free cookbook and get a free hearing evaluation at the same time. For that, call 888-489-8980. Call 1-888-489-8980. Even if you don't get the hearing aids, you'll still get a free hearing test as well as a free Bob Allison cookbook. 1-888-489-8980. I keep telling you folks to write down that toll-free number because, as you know, I pride myself in helping people not only for hearing, but also for any in-home needs that you need, because I made it my mission since I've been around for a while that there's so many things that come up and you don't know who to call. So by all means, give us a call. We'd like to help you in your daily needs as well. And at Cruz Hearing, by the way, for free, there's what's called the caption telephone. If you're on Medicare, you can actually get a phone that you just plug in as a regular phone, and anytime you get a call afterward, the person that's calling you, their message can be seen on the screen. It's fantastic. And I try to get myself involved with fantastic products, and that's why I'm so excited about having Todd Davis on the line with CBD, because I personally have taken it for pain, and like you brought out, Todd, I have a back problem that comes and goes, and I'd rather it go than it comes. And whenever it does come, I apply it, and I am here to tell you it's fantastic. And we were talking about not only taking care of human beings, but right now with the shutdown, a lot of people are getting involved more in having pets around. So tell me a little bit more, Todd, about the product line for the pets and their uses.
Yes, absolutely. The pet line that we have is called Phyto Bites. It sounds like Phyto, but it's Phyto, the Latin word for plant. And they're soft chews for animals. The other one is called Phyto Drops. That's our oil-based tincture for animals that has more of a soothing and immediate effect attaching to the brain function and the receptor sites there. But the Phyto Bites are really our specialty. The Phyto Bites is a dual delivery system and allows the dog, which everybody who has a dog, they know they usually inhale their food. They don't chew it. They don't savor the flavor. They get it down as fast as they possibly can. So we designed a product that it's a peanut butter based, all vegetable based platform where the dog chews it once or twice and then they swallow. On that first release, the CBD gets into their mucous membranes, their mucosal platform, their epithelial cells, and then communicates through the bloodstream, crossing the blood-brain barrier with the CB1 receptors. The secondary delivery is when they swallow it and it gets into their GI tract. It's able to get into the bloodstream that way and get into their CB2 receptors. And through that dual delivery system, what we see with animals, especially the dogs, is they have the first is a behavioral change. They have a reduction in stress. They have a reduction in anxiety or hyperness. And we see that within 10 to 12 minutes or so. The secondary is you see mobility. You see dogs, especially elderly dogs, getting up and down more efficiently without the pain. When they sit down, they don't fight it. They just kind of lay into it and they lay down more comfortably. And the pet owner really knows it. You know, dogs don't lie. They can't. They just feel better. They really do. And once we figured out the dosing, they don't require a lot. You know, dogs metabolize CBD differently than humans. Humans metabolize a half-life of about 36 hours. For dogs, it's about 9 hours. So rather than doing large doses with dogs, you do 2 doses. You spread them out on a daily basis about 9 hours apart, and it gives an overall, it helps support reduction of inflammation. So that inflammation causes lots of things in animals. It causes anxiety. It causes hypertension. It causes overexcessive pain and, you know, all the little things that dogs do. And then the big things that big dogs do, you know, they're more lumbering and they'll bark for longer periods of time. You see them just kind of calm down, and it doesn't sedate them. It modulates them, and it brings them into a much more comfortable state than a normal dog would act like.
And actually, we always joke about how a dog loves you. A dog will love you even more if it's not as in an uncomfortable type state. And I'm pleased to announce again, we have veterinarians and vet hospitals actually make it available for their clients. And likewise, you can order it direct, and also you can get it on through your website. Do you want to give the information if someone wants to order it through the web again, please?
Sure. You go to www.cbdunlimited.com. And in the section, you'll see a drop-down menu that says CBD for pets, and that's where you can see the different product offerings. So you'll have a small dog offering. You'll have a large dog offering. We kind of have break points at around 40 pounds. Now you can buy the large dog product and cut it in half. You can portion it. So, there's a 30-day supply there. There's a 60-day supply there. And if you have multiple dogs, especially multiple small dogs, buy the larger size, cut them in half, and then portion them out for the pet. But a dog in general only needs 2 to 5 milligrams per dose. Not more. It doesn't make it better. It makes it efficient at 2 to 5 milligrams. And there have been some recent reports out of the University of Colorado through their animal and veterinarian division that supports that science that that 2 to 5 milligram range is exactly where dogs should be treated.
Mm-hmm. And you will know rather quickly if you try it out. I recommend at least try it out for 30 days, and at the end of 30 days, you're going to know for sure whether the investment, which is not a big amount, as I recall, you are around $1.25 or so per dose. Is that correct? Or
per dose, per day. We try and price it at a very affordable rate. For the small dogs, it's around $1.25, and the larger dogs, it's around $1.50, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So it's in an area that, if you treat it as a supplement, it's part of an improved quality of life for your animal. If they're performance dogs, they'll recover faster. If they're hyper dogs that can't sleep well, they'll sleep better. If it's a puppy, puppies, I don't think necessarily need it. It does calm them a little bit, but they're so healthy in their immune function. You're not using it as a treatment for anything. You're just using it to provide some general calmness. But those dogs that are 3 years and older, especially the older dogs, this is really, CBD is the best product I've seen for animals in 30 years. It just, for so many conditions, whether it's because of diet, environmental, stress, or disease, CBD helps support an animal's health and their comfort. And that's, primarily, we don't know what to do for dogs. They can't talk to us, but when you make them happy, you notice it. You really do.
And they start wagging their tail much more frequently.
Yeah. We have a lab and a pug that passed away in the past year. But when we started the product, this was 5 years ago. The pug and the lab both lived to 16 years old.
No.
I don't think they would have lived the full 16 years. They have a general lifespan of 8 to 12 years. Uh-huh. And I do believe that the CBD helped them live a longer, healthier life, and they really did max out. They were comfortable at the end, and they lived a good life.
Well, that's what life is all about, to make it as good as possible. And Todd, I gotta run because we're gonna get kicked out of studio, and it's always a delight to talk to you. And feel free to call me or directly to CBD Unlimited, and you get professional advice. Right now, I only have enough time for my favorite parting thought about entrepreneurship, which is, if you really want to get anything done in life, you'll find a way. And if you don't, you'll find an excuse. And there is no excuse for not achieving your dreams and goals in America, because it's still the greatest country in the whole world. Remember, a goal is just a dream with a deadline.
WNZK has available a few good hours of airtime for a few good programs to serve their communities. Radio is better than ever in targeting an audience that listens to what you say. Learn more about this exciting radio broadcasting opportunity by calling WNZK Radio at 248-557-3500. This is WNZK.